Hi, welcome back to my channel. Not only am I about to finish this little bit right here for this Leslie Tear Winter Spring / 2021 stitch along, I think I found an angle that allows you to see what I'm doing. Of course, one thing you're going to see is that I don't do nail polish, at least not yet anyway. One of these days I might start going to, what is it, oh goodness, a nail specialist. Anesthesia. Okay. I call myself an erudite, but I can't say that word. Okay, why is there no end? Did I slip? I'm sorry, I just have to look at the. Okay. Okie dokie. So, where am I? I'm right here. So, I did just hit the camera, so we're just going to raise it a little bit so that I don't hit it again. So, what am I up to today? Now, first thing I'm going to say is, if you know me, you could probably tell that my mood is elevated, and that is a good thing. And it's elevated simply because we are at the end of April, and all those little and big goals that I had, I met. I met the goals that I set. Now, there are the only thing that I was shy on was I wanted to read 55 books in April, and as of now, which is 3:12 in the afternoon, I've read 54. That's the only area in which I fell shy. So I'm excited about that. Now, every month for my blog and for this channel, I do wrap up. Like for the blog, I do a wrap up post, a wrap up blog post, and for the channel, I do a wrap up monthly posts. But I also do my weekly posts, I do my quarterly posts, I do my yearly, those type of wrap ups. But for right now, since we are at the end of April, and I do my Monday reads on every Monday, and that's just 2 days from now, I might combine my my recent reads with my monthly wrap up, or I may just do 2 separate videos. I haven't fully decided. I am using my planner to make these decisions. Now, there's some things that I want to mention that I hate the way this is sliding. I need a non-stick pad. I wonder where I have one. I need one of those pads. Let me just check this bag here really quickly. I need something that prevents it from sliding. Let's try this. Let's see if that helps. So anyway, I am a goal-oriented person. I always have been. That comes with having a type A personality, and I function. It might be organized chaos, but I function. No, that's not the word. What is it? I thrive with something. I forgot how I used to refer to myself. But the more order that I create, the happier I am. And I compete a lot. But guess who my biggest competitor is? It's myself. If I did X last month, I want to do Y this month and Z the next month. That's just me trying to work on improving myself. Now, I am back to cross-stitching this week after taking 2 weeks off. I had only intended on taking a week off and focusing on my Spring Mountain Majesty diamond painting by Chuck Pinson. However, I got sick thanks to my lovely grandbabies, and by getting sick, I spent more time in bed than I did doing anything else. Well, being in bed all that time made it very easy for me to reach those reading goals that I set. Now, I'm just looking at this to see what's next. Okay, it looks like I gotta stick a little stitch right here. For the first week of April, I wanted to read 20 books, and I did read 20, just not the 20 I set out. I think of the 20 that I set out that first week, I read maybe 17, and then I threw in 3 different ones. And that's only because of publication date. I just shifted them around a little bit. I'm only stopping to look at my pattern. So, because I met that goal in that first week of April, my next goal was to try to read 55 books in April. And so every Monday I would set out my video and tell you what I read for the previous week and then what I intended on reading for the next week. But I didn't do it with the intent of any specific number other than just a specific goal, and it looks like I did that stitch wrong. So we're just going to feed it back through and take it out. So April ended up being a very, very good month for me because I just kept on reading all that time I was in bed. I was just reading all the time. And that kept me working towards that goal of reading 55 books. 50 would have been great. 55 was the goal, and I ended up with 54. Now, there is some hours left in today, and I could probably very easily finish a book because I have a couple books going on. Actually, I think I have 4 books that I started, but I think I'm going to carry them over to May and focus on getting these stats down for my channel and for my blog. Now, I'm sorry, I'm just looking at my pattern and my progress. I think I just have to bring this over here and do there. So we'll just do this area right here. So one thing that I've done is in the past, when I would deal with my depression, I would stop doing stuff that I liked. Whatever it was, whether it could be my game, it could be my diamond painting, my cross stitching, my adult coloring, I would let the negativity win. Now, when I had some issues at the end of January, yes, I ended up getting hospitalized for my own safety. The day that I got hospitalized, the day before that actually, I had started a really long shopping list on 123 Stitch for some upcoming cross stitching that I wanted to do. So I ended up in the hospital before I proceeded to follow through with that order. So while I was in the hospital, I decided that I wasn't going to stitch anymore. And so when I came home, I looked at my 123 Stitch order, which was about a $150 order. It's one of my bigger orders. And I decided, you know what? Don't let the negativity win. Don't let the bullies and the people that had done their best to rob me of my joy win. So I hit send and I processed this order and I kept on stitching. That's number 1. Number 2 is, okay, sorry, I'm just looking if this is coming down. Yeah. The second thing is it looks like I have to flip this over and try to pull this stitch out. Let me just see if I can get this out. I'm not happy with that. I think it's okay though. Yeah. Yep. So I lost my thought, but I had to make some decisions about my longevity and a new hobby that I really loved, which was stitching. So that means following through with that 123 Stitch order. Second thing was, I know what I was going to say, is my reading fell by the wayside. I went from reading 50 or 60 books a month to reading 22 books in February. It took a minute for me to get my reading mojo back. I got my reading mojo back in March. I think I read 15. I'm not happy with the stitch. What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? My angle is off on this stitch here. So anyway, it took the month of February for me to regroup after my depression and hospitalization, and the flu and COVID. Yeah, it took a minute. New medication, a stronger medication, getting over the flu and getting over COVID. That's what February was all about. So by the time March rolled around, I was pretty much back to the way that I should be. I'm just trying to think. I have to figure this out. Give me a second. So if that is cross, that's down. Come down one more. So it's right here. Okay. So that I never stopped stitching, and in fact, I think I had started about 18. See, every time it looks weird, but I think it's okay. So anyway, so I have like 18 projects going on, with several projects that I plan on starting after I finish up a couple of things that I'm working on. So okay, so I got my mojo back. Give me a second. If that's coming through here, then we need a stitch right here. This is so weird. So anyway, I got my reader mojo back. I never lost my stitching mojo, and then I started making videos. So I thought I would do something. I'll tell you something about my channel. Because of the situation that I found myself in during the month of January, or the last week of January, I lost, I think, 12 subscribers. And I'm just trying to match it up. It looks right and it looks wrong. Alright, it looks good. We're just going to leave it. So anyway, so I got down to like 823. Well, guess what I have for subscribers now, y'all? I got 1,024. Yeah. I gained 200 subscribers since the end of January. Why am I getting a subscriber a day, sometimes 2, even 3 subscribers a day? Well, if I go to my analytics, I'll go to my video page on YouTube Studio. I'm going to populate this by 50, and we're going to go to, I think I have to go across 3 pages. Let's go to the 3rd one. I'll tell you what I'm looking at in 1 minute. Okay, so if we go so that's 100, 100. Just bear with me for 1 second. I don't know why my iPad is running so slow. $191 videos I have made. Yes, I was just counting. Since January 1st, I have made 191 videos. What are these videos? Stitching chat like this one here. Individual book reviews on almost every book I'm reading. Channel weekly wrap-ups, monthly wrap-ups, floss tube, even a little bit about my jigsaw puzzles, and a little bit about my diamond painting. Now, all of this happened while I was in a stage of healing. And the reason that my mood is so bright today is because I started compiling my stats. Yes, I'm a statistician, okay? I started compiling my stats for the end of April. And I saw that I think the lighting is off every time I pull my hand away, and I'm sorry about that, guys. So anyway, so I started compiling my stats last night for the end of April, and I will say that I have seen growth, and I have an upcoming giveaway that I will be making a separate video about to show my appreciation for everybody that has signed up to my channel, and I'm very appreciative of that. And so now, my goal for this week, other than getting better, since I can't seem to get better for whatever virus or bug I caught, other than that, is I started setting out the books that I want to read for the month of May. So I came up with about 40 books, and that leaves 15 titles. Of those 15 titles, 7 will be June titles that I want to read in May. And then the other 7, because I want to shoot for 55 again, will be for these series that I want to read a little bit of starting this month. And I'm going to tell you what they are. They are the Linda Castillo, Kate Burkholder series, the C.S. Harris, Sebastian St. Cyr series. I want to try to work on finishing the Janet Ivanovich, Stephanie Plum series. I'm halfway there at book number 15. The Angela Marston's Detective Kim Stone series. Then the M.C.B. and Agatha Raisin series. And then I want to get back to the Joanna Fluke, Hannah Swenson series. So every month I want to be a month to 2 months ahead for my blog tours, and then work on the hop sketch to the next month, 7 or 8 of those, and then work on my series. So by June 1st, my TBR should look very, very different, because my May reads should reflect the goals that I have set. And I'm not stitching because while I'm talking to you guys, I'm looking at my pattern to make sure all of my back stitching is correct, and it looks like it is, so we'll go on. Now, I babysat around the end of January, and Miss Ari called and says, "Mommy, you need to have a COVID test. The babies have COVID." Okay, so I have a COVID test, and it was negative. It said I had the flu. Then I had my breakdown and had to go into the hospital because I was suicidal, very, very much so. And their protocol is to test the patients in the ER for COVID, and lo and behold, I did test positive for COVID, on top of having influenza A. So then I watched the kids again a few weeks later, which was, going into the month of March, and I got sick from the babies again. And then I watched the babies 2 weeks ago, and I got sick again. So it seems like every time I see the babies who are in daycare, and I think that's where all this is coming from, I turn around and get sick. However, this last time, I got this virus on top of a really bad fibromyalgia flare. So I'm spending tons of time in bed, if not almost all of the time in bed. Not today, though. Not today. I have been diamond painting, and now I am sitting at my desk cross-stitching. But I've been spending a lot of time in bed trying to recover from a fibro flare with whatever bug I have. And the home test, I took 2 of them. Both say that they're negative. I'm negative for COVID. So it's probably, bronchitis, strep, pneumonia. I don't know. Who cares? I say it. I don't mean that lightly. I say that means this too shall pass. That's all I mean when I say who cares. So now that I have successfully stayed up all day today is the first day that I've stayed up all day for nearly 2 months. I have not stayed up more than an hour or 2 since March. So I've been up all day, and I'm really happy about that. And I am looking at the videos that I need to make. I don't know why that looks so junky right there. It looks like I cut in another piece of floss. We'll have to check that out when I'm not on camera. So I forgot what I was saying, but basically I've got my TBR ready. I have some patterns that I want to finish off, which is this one, the Autism Brain one, which I did, and my Julie Heaton birdhouses. And then after I work on my birdhouses, then I will go back to my temperature tree, which by then I'll have 6 weeks to do, so that's going to take a few hours. But it's got to go in rotation. So I'll bring up my temperature tree to, up to date. And then after I do that, then my next thing I want to work on is all of the stitch-alongs. And I mean the Taylor's Otis Time, the Caterpillar one that I have, and the several that I have from Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. And then after I work on all of those, I want to work on my long dog samplers. I have 2 of those going. And then I have 1 from the Just Cross Stitch magazine. And then I have a couple of cats that I want to start. And then on top of all of that, the next thing I want to do is I subscribe to the Caterpillar Club monthly box, subscription box. So there's 2 small patterns that I want to do as gifts. So I'm going to work on those too. I will see what I need to buy because no, actually I think it comes with everything. I think I just need the hoops, if I'm not mistaken. I joined a bunch of challenges for for May. I joined challenges in February and March, but I was still so wrecked mentally that I didn't follow through with posting. But fortunately for April, I posted in all the groups I was supposed to post. So for May, I have joined Bookish Brawlers, Literary Fight Club, Fiction Feud Society, the Literary Coven, Bookish Brawlers, and Reading Library. So I joined all of those. So I'm in the process of creating spreadsheets for each and every one of those challenges that I'll be doing for May. For blog tours, I have quite a few. Let's see how many blog tours I signed up for May. And I am going to count. So we have 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. I have 27 blog tours for May. And there's only 31 days in May. Well, there are 31 days in May, so 27 of those days are blog tours. But I have a plan to knock out my blog tour titles by the end of the second week of May. So that when I start reading at the end of the second week in May, I'm actually going to be reading June books, which I mentioned earlier in this video. And then if I'm able to keep up that momentum, then by June, I should be reading July's books and so forth and so on. So I might be able to get a jump on some of the blog tours that I have lined up. So I'm excited about that. And I'll tell you something fun, though. I started playing Wordle, right? And Wordle is from the New York Times. And then I heard about Hurdle, and Setacurdle, and Octurtle, and Duo Trigirdle, and Nerdle. Yeah. Did I say Hurdle? Yeah. There's a lot of them, aren't there? So I haven't played those for the last couple of days other than Wordle because I have been cross-stitching. And you can't play a word game and poke needles through thread. So I literally have to give myself some downtime so I can play those word games. Nerdle is a number game. You have to do a math computation, and math was my favorite subject in school, algebra at that. So I just want to make that something fun. I also pulled out my Kakuro book, which is like cross sums. It's really complicated math computation. It's a book I'll show you on a future video. I don't think it's in here though. I think it's in my bedroom. I'm looking. No, I didn't bring it in my office. So I pulled out my Kakuro book, and I also pulled out my logic problems book. So I might spend like an hour a day working math games and logic problems, and those are hard copy books. So you can't because with reading and reviewing it's kind of like work, because technically I am a professional book reviewer, and there's a lot of responsibility that I've taken on in order to keep at that momentum. I think I've already used that word once in this video, but I want to have downtime, which is why I mentioned those games like Hurdle, Wordle, Nerdle, and Octurtle, and so forth. But I also want to use my, I just want to redo these 2 stitches right here. So I do want to do those games from those print books, and I got those books, by the way, at Barnes and Noble. Yeah, I sure did. So I think I just messed up. Okay, I have got to pull this out carefully so I don't break my floss, because I want to fix that little bitty spot right there. And once I finish that little bitty spot right there, this is done, with the exception of French knots. But I think I'm going to get some beads and do beads instead of French knots. If you're looking at this, this is not a mistake. This is the way the pattern reads. I don't know why the designer didn't fill it in over here, so I did it exactly as was designed. My hearts aren't perfect, but hey, you know, I'm still a newbie, still learning. And I'm just looking. It looks like looks like I gotta get those. I have to put some stitches in right here too. I'm just looking through the camera. Yeah, I missed 4 stitches, right? The 3 stitches, 3 or 4 stitches right there. So anyway, we're gonna call it a day. I want to thank you for watching, and believe me, there will be much more to come. Bye bye.